How can you stay up all day and night and fight for Lulac, for Latino people? And it's not only Latino people, it's for everybody. And I wanted to cry myself because I know my entire drive and my entire professional life has been pure hate. And I mean that sincerely. Like, all of you have stories. Victoria, she told a little bit of your story, and I've known you for a long time. But everybody has stories how they grew up in hardship.
Right.
Some of us harder than others.
Sweet.
What I told
Sweet.
the press people the other day was, you know, when I was a child, I guess we were all children, we were made a lot of promises. We were promised and engraved in us that we were all treated equal. But in my professional life, I found that it was a pure lie. They lied to me.
Yep.
When they lied to me, when they told me that I had the same equal opportunity as everybody else, and they lied to you. They lied to me when they told me that everybody was welcome to come to this country. All of you were giving a picture of a Statue of Liberty. I remember the first time I went over there. What happened to bring me your poor, your hungry, of those who thirst for freedom? I went to the border the other day. It was here at Progreso, and I had to cry. When you see all these little children laying in the street because they're trying to get in this country, but we won't welcome them. Because we have a racist pig sitting in the White House.
Tell the truth.
Tell
the truth.
State of Texas, the governor.
Tell the truth.
I told my wife and I tell other people, you know, what people don't realize is most people go on with their happy little lives, their happy little jobs, and their happy little families. They enjoy their children, their grandchildren. They wait for their paycheck, and they go on with their happy little lives. Every day, there's people that wake up in this country that hate you. They want to get rid of you. Simply because of the color of our skin and our last name. I know this is horrible, people, what I'm saying, but it's true. Every day, I wake up, and there's a handful of us. I've spent 27 years as a lawyer, fighting every single day. I mean, just today, I thought, okay, I'm going to come up to Dallas, visit with my friends. On the way up here, I get a call from my national president, Domingo Garcia. Says, Luis, how long will it take you to put together a petition to sue the Trump administration over these tariffs because they're going to hurt all the Latino people along the border? I said, when do you want it? Because we're getting it ready.
Good.
And we will file it. If he implements that first tariff on July the 1st, we will file a lawsuit. Are we going to win?
Yes.
Sí,
Sí se puede.
We're going to give them hell. I say these words because, David, you kept talking to the young people. I'm 63 years old. How much longer I have, I don't know. The lawyers I work with are in their 70s. George Corbin, 77. Renee Hicks, twice Solicitor General of Texas, 70 years old. All the lawyers I work with are older than I am. And they've all been fighting this 40, 50 years. See, in the legislature, senator, representatives that are here, you get to fight on the floor. And you fight as hard as you can. But y'all don't see all the secrets that we see. We just finished this voter purging case. And I want to say this publicly. everybody's been blasting Secretary Whitley. Did he knew what was going on? Probably. But I got to see all the emails between the governor and the DPS office over a year ago. They're in the court seal. We can see a lot of documents in all these cases that we do that other people don't know. And it's always scapegoats to get caught up in this. This entire racist program, these last two that have tried, come from the governor's office, the governor himself, and the attorney general. They don't come from one of the workers that they work with. I'm upset because he's been used as a scapegoat, when the true racist is Governor Abbott.
Yep.
And we will fight him as long as he's in office. And yes, I'm angry. I want you young people to demand every single thing that you've been promised. And you demand those promises until you die.
Yes.
If they promise you equality, you demand equality. If they promise you freedom, you demand freedom. If they promise you an education, you demand education. If they promise you health care for all, you demand health care for all. And if they promise these poor children to come to this country to seek freedom, then you demand that for those children, not for yourselves. If you're not crying every day when you see these people, then you're not human. We sit here and we eat these steaks, we get this beautiful dessert, and there's people over there can't even get a loaf of bread, can't get a tortilla, and they're starving. I know I'm angry. And I've been driven to that. And I won't let go of it because I know if I let go of it, I won't be able to move on. Most people know here I've been fighting cancer for 3 years. It doesn't bother me. Most people here know that I've been on dialysis for 17 years. I should have been dead a long time ago. Doctors M.D. Anderson tell me it every day, Luis, we don't know how you do it. I know what does it. It's this fighting that we have to fight for. As long as I know that if I keep fighting for the right things, I will survive and I will live. And my time will come like everybody else. My time will come like everybody else. I'm staring at President Flores because during his tenure, Lulac versus Perry with his great case that we won to go all the way to the Supreme Court. And I look at President Dovalina because he's the one that first brought me up to the national level, and I appreciated that. President Rosales, President Margaret Moran is not here, and President Rocha, and now President Garcia. All of them that have allowed me the blessing of serving Lulac. But one of you has to take over. Got to take over not only for me, but from all of us. Because we're not only here in Texas. I fought in Florida, Iowa, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico. Richard's here. How many cases did we do over this last year in Arizona? 2. And we won both.
Sí se pudo.
Because what Lulac does, and the blessings I have, when someone does something in any state government or federal government, we're the first one there. Look at these last cases. When we filed the last one, the Pershing case, it took like 2 weeks before the next group jumped in. When we filed SB4, Roger, your president, it was 3 weeks before the city of El Paso jumped in, 4 weeks before Malden jumped in, because they look at us to see what's going to happen. See, we're going to get killed off right off the bat. But we don't. We don't get killed because we have a team of lawyers across this country. And most of them are white. We can't do this by ourselves. We can never do this by ourselves. I was one of the last lawyers Assessor Chavez had before he died. And his team of lawyers came from all races because he knew we couldn't do it by ourselves. Thurgood Marshall, when he was alive, and the great Thurgood Marshall knew that his team of lawyers had to come from all races. And he said that the only way we would win the civil rights fight, it would take all people and all colors. And that's a blessing that I had as serving as General Counsel of Lulac. But the network that we've been able to put together in the last 27 years that I've been doing this is people from all races. Whether they're black, Asian, white, people of all faith, Jews, Muslims, Hindus. We work together because we're all fighting the same group who hate us. Who hate us simply for the reason that we're not white. Don't believe for a minute, don't ever believe that in the United States the Nazis don't exist. Don't believe for a minute that we cannot go back to the horror that happened during the Holocaust, but it's our turn. Every day you wake up, what's this president going to do next? You better accept the fact, people, that he hates us. Mm-hmm. He hates us with all his heart. If it was up to him, we'd be dead. Mm-hmm. If it was up to him, we'd all be deported. He doesn't believe in a great America. He believes in a white America only. And I'm sorry for speaking this way, but the truth has to be told. All I ask of you, as long as I'm privileged to serve Lulac, together with the network of people that we have, number one, that you vote. You got to encourage people to vote. Don't just talk about it. Don't just sit at home and say, yeah, we need to vote, right? So we need to know. You need to get in the streets and take people to vote. Things are getting bad and they're getting worse. Mm-hmm. The laws on the books that are changing have taken us back 50 years. The Supreme Court of the United States is the most political court this country has ever had. The federal judges now are almost all Republican, conservative Republicans. We had 7 federal judges that found Texas intentionally discriminated. Of the 7 judges, 4 were hardcore Republican conservatives. Yet we got to the U.S. Supreme Court and the United States Supreme Court reversed the racial discrimination findings. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up your children. And when there's marches, you march. And if you can't walk, then you tap your feet on the ground. You do something to change what's going on in this world and in this country. And my God, pray every day for those poor children sitting on the border. If their own country cannot protect them, then we must.
That's beautiful.
Thank you very much.